Project Drift, a racing game that's going for the initial D vibe. Does it make it all the way to the finish line though? Well, first let's talk about the graphics. They're going for that cel-shaded effect, but the effect becomes an eyesore with the foliage on the sides of the track. I think the filter just needs tweaked on certain objects. On the Steam Deck itself, you'll have to set the graphics mode in the menu to simple to maintain 60 frames per second, which is the desired FPS for a racing game. However, at the simple preset, you will see foliage pop up on the raceway and trees appear off in the distance in certain parts, which is a little immersion breaking. Then there is the music. You are presented with chirping birds in the main menu, in the middle of a big city, which doesn't make sense to me, but I digress. Then there is the racing music in-game, which is pretty spot on. Fast-paced, repetitive Euro beats full of synthy sounds. Vehicles themselves sound okay, but those sounds get pretty repetitive too. An example is the braking sound when drifting. It's the same sound no matter which vehicle you get, no matter how fast you're going. I'm playing on the Steam Deck, which at this time is listed as unsupported on the Steam store, but it works okay. The game launched the first time without issues and has full controller support, so I didn't need any custom input setup for this, which is great. But then on to the actual gameplay, and eventually, this is the reason why I cannot recommend this game. First, in the main menu, you can select your vehicle and the color, but you only start out with one. You'll need to do a battle, or basically a 1 versus 1 race, against the other vehicles to obtain other cars for yourself. Makes sense, but there are only 5 races you can battle to obtain a total of 6 vehicles. So this game is pretty short, but you know what? It is just a $2 game. During the race, you can collide with the other car, but there's no damage done to either vehicle. The drifting mechanic feels okay, and I guess since this video has been posted, they have made an update. But when I tested it, it feels the same on every vehicle. However, the main issue I have is the guardrails in the game. Every time you slightly hit them, your car basically makes a 45-degree turn into them. But this isn't the bad part. The bad part is if you hit them fast enough, you'll launch yourself outside of the race, and there's no reset option to put you back onto the track. When you go to the pause menu, you'll have the option to either continue the race or quit the race. You don't have an option to reset you back on the track. If you're launched off the track, and it's not so easy to get back on either. This happened to me on every single race I did. One of my initial races, I decided to see how far could I go with this. Riding on the planes around the track for about 2 minutes, eventually I was able to force myself back onto the track and win the race. For a $2 game, you can't complain too much, but with the guardrails essentially ruining the race, I can't get past this. This ruins the game for me. The developer should have worked on the physics with the guardrail before releasing it on Steam. Alternatively, the developer could have added, or maybe they will add, a reset option in the pause menu that will get you back on the track, or even better, if it automatically resets your position, like the Mario Kart games. The racing AI is okay. It's passive and it doesn't try to collide with your vehicle. It doesn't really seem to know that your vehicle even exists. It's more or less just following a path. So to summarize my review, at this time I cannot recommend Project Drift. It is a bare-bones drift racing game with limited replayability and guardrails that literally refuse to hold the player back. Hopefully the developer will make improvements, and I can already see that they've updated the game since I recorded this video with a manual shifting mode, and they're adjusting the physics in respect of the drifting. So hopefully they'll take this feedback about the guardrails into account and continue to make the game better. That's going to do it for this review of Project Drift. See you next time.